Regulatory agencies like FEMA and OSHA give us guidelines to follow relative to preparing for violence in the workplace. You and I should be paying attention to these guidelines as they are created and published to help protect you and I, as well as they are based on examination of these active shooter and violent incidents occurring within our workspaces across the nation. FEMA and OSHA tell us we should prepare. Based on how we see people reacting to violence that have not prepared, they say we should develop an emergency action plan for you or your team. It is not a written plan. It is a plan about what you're going to do if something happens. They tell us we should conduct ongoing training, both for our team as well as for the individual. And this is not long training sessions, but as we talk about it in the Front Desk Safety Association, you can do basic training for your mind in just a few minutes a month. FEMA tells us that we should train to recognize indicators of potential workplace violence. OSHA wants us to have an evacuation or escape plan for you, but also for your team, just in case it is needed. We are also encouraged to have non-emergency and emergency phone numbers in places we might need them, like next to your desk phones, but also in those cell phones that we carry everywhere with us. FEMA and OSHA also suggest we work on a notification system or plan to communicate with others in the workplace during emergencies or violence. That includes discussion of code words and use of any alert system, alert phrases, and our intercom system or panic buttons. They recognize we need these items and we need to practice with them. The guidelines also suggest that we should conduct training, as we mentioned earlier, and that training should include things like identifying the sound of gunfire, how we can as a team, or you as an individual, react quickly in these different emergency and active violence situations. According to FEMA, we also need to work on being comfortable with calling 911. We should also understand how to react when law enforcement arrives to these situations. And finally, we should work on our survival mindset during crisis so that we are working to survive, not quitting. Now, there was also discussion in the guidelines that we should be creating and practicing plans to help other people. Those individuals might be hearing or sight impaired or might have mobility or language limitations, which we will discuss within our association site. We do want to mention, though, that our instructors and experts also believe that you have to work on a plan that may only help you in a violent situation. We talk about having two plans, one to help others if you can, but also a plan that is focused on saving yourself in case time does not allow for both. So whether you join our association or not, there are great guidelines for you to be familiar with from oversight agencies. These agencies develop guides by following these violent incidents and emergencies within the workplace and develop insight for you and I to focus on when it becomes to being better prepared for real issues, based on real events, not hype.